I had a lot of insomnia. I couldn't sleep properly. I wasn't happy with it at all. Leipzig the year before, I felt I did okay, but I was like, man, I really could have done better. This one, I was really happy. I really felt like I did a good job. As we kick this off, in the bottom left-hand side, our red Terran player from Kaisi Gaming, it is INnoVation. Up against the blue Protoss in the top right, Patience. As we kick off into game number 1 of this best of 3. Semi-finals time, of course, $50. Third place on fourth place. Second place of this tournament gets $100, and if you win, $200. So guaranteed 50 so far, but a lot more to play for still. As we start off with the racks in the main base coming in before the gas. A lot of TvP today. A lot of TvP today. A lot of these matches, and with Maxhead winning against Time in the quarterfinal, we will of course have as well TvP in the other semi-final too, so lots of TvP. As we get this up and running, a gateway dropping down, and a couple of probes mining away in gas, as we will see one probe of Patience pulling out down towards the low ground, getting ready to drop down a Nexus. So Nexus will drop down, Rax will finish up, and a Reaper from INnoVation starting as well. As you do see a CC dropping down here, and just going to be seeing the SCV of INnoVation making its way out towards the natural expansion. With the probe of Patience all the way across down the bottom. Already going to start up a pylon, so Patience going to try and make this a little bit tricky in the early stages, already make INnoVation's life a little bit difficult. Do you see this Cybernex core is just a few moments away from completing? As you have, again, this Nex is about halfway done. Command center on the natural of INnoVation. He's just a bit blind as to what's happening. The one thing you will notice is there's a missing pylon, so if he can figure that out, maybe he'll go scouting, but I don't think he's done that just yet. He's actually sending the Reaper straight across, so he's not thinking about it. Otherwise, the Reaper would be checking the sides of the map instead. As we're going to be seeing the Reaper hopping up in toward the main base, trying to do a little bit more. And just going to be popping back down. Again, not seeing any tech or so, and so maybe just wanting to think about what this could be. May just build into that tech lab on the factory anyways and go Cyclone, because that's what he's done a lot of so far in these games. Although he had the game where he Widowmined up and he actually got the kill as well against Parting on this map against the Stargate proxy, so he's going to go tech lab on the factory. I mean, Cyclone's obviously great. It will be a little bit slow coming out though compared to this Oracle right now. So this Oracle on the way up for the moment. Again, tech lab on the factory. Again, Starport building up for the moment. But yeah, the Oracle should get in here just before the Cyclone is done, so there will be a little bit of time here where there's a little bit of a concern. And especially as Patience flies in, he'll see the tech lab on the factory right away, and that should tell him as well there's not been time for there to realistically be a Widowmine coming out, so you don't have to be too afraid. 3 Marines can be a little bit frustrating though, but at the same time the Adept and the Natural will have nothing to counter it, so it will start picking up some damage. As the Oracle in the main base, it activates, it backs away pretty quick. And now it looks as though INnoVation is going to go down to the low ground as this Adept picks up its first SCV, make that 2. As it shades out of there, no damage taken at all. Not a bad start, as the Viking starts up and INnoVation straight into a siege tank to follow up, and we'll see if he wants to try get across the map and be aggressive. This Stargate is proxied, which means it's less likely to be multiple Phoenix as a follow-up. And so a push across the map could be pretty powerful because you could hit before the the extra tech structures really come up and into play. So we'll see if that's on INnoVation's mind here. As he gets a medevac as well, it's definitely the setup to give him the possibility of moving onto the map, right? As this Viking comes out, we'll see the Adept here. It's already shared, and realistically, the Cyclone doesn't get a kill on that then. And still just this Oracle and the Phoenix hanging around together. The Phoenix is a nice addition. It helps to lift up the Cyclone, cancel lock-on, so it can save some units at different times. As that probe just hanging around on that third base. Forge completing here on the corner of the main. Couple of extra gates warping into warp gate mode. And again, 2 Adepts and a Sentry from Patience on the natural expansion too, as we will have the Nexus dropping down on the third base location. Pylon coming in as well. And he's not really afraid to take that fast third base towards the 5-minute marker. Couple of Sentries starting to come in. He will, with the Viking, now find this pylon on the bottom side, so he knows where the Stargate is. INnoVation doesn't look like he's too eager to go and just shut this down already. Where's our medevac at right now? It's just starting to move out. Okay, here come the Marines, so he is going to go for this push. Let's see what INnoVation can do, pushing towards the third base here. I mean, there's a couple of sentries and a couple of adepts. Again, an extra warping of units is nice, but you're not really there yet, especially against 2 siege tanks to make this very dangerous. Stasis Ward catches the Cyclone. Not the craziest thing to have to play against just yet. It depends what this Stasis Ward up here can do. If that catches a good chunk of Marines, you're probably alright here as Patience. One Marine going to try and lead the charge. It will probably go down before it sets off the Stasis Ward. It just went a bit to the side. INnoVation does know it's there, though, so he gets the shot. 2 Vikings with the Marines get rid of the Phoenix quickly, so no lifting on any of these tanks. I mean, it's a good amount of gateway units, but still no blink, still no +1 attack upgrade. Shield batteries are here to help out, but those siege tanks are going to do so much damage. Target firing the Stalkers right now. I mean, the force fields are pretty nice. The Vikings dropping down to help out as well. Feels like Patience really doesn't have enough to hold on, though, even with these shield batteries. And now the third Nexus taking some pretty serious damage. An extra couple Stalkers warping in. Is it enough? I'm not really sure. 2 siege tanks are very powerful here. Obviously, Vikings still up against the Stalkers. I mean, extra Viking, extra tank, and it really feels like this is going to be really troubling for Patience to clean up. And there goes the third base, so it goes down. And INnoVation already pushing himself into a very good position here in game number 1. As Patience will struggle at this point, I think. If the Marines come around, that's going to be a dead shield battery as well. Pushing forwards, I mean, this is just going to be pushing straight, and INnoVation going to find himself a sentry kill. A couple of units pressing forwards. This Cyclone darts back behind the force fields there, as that's going to be an Oracle that gets killed off as well. Tanks will siege, though, and with the tanks sieging, these Stalkers get pushed away, and this really is just about going to be it, right? I mean, there's going to be a robo facility canceling there at the front. He tries to build another one further back in the natural. If he even survived that long, he's going to go for a blink onto these siege tanks, but then if the Vikings come back, these Stalkers are going to melt to the Viking fire. And I mean, yeah, you get all of the siege tanks, but even that wasn't exactly a great trade, I don't think. Because again, these Vikings are trading so well at this stage as well. Good medevac micro from INnoVation too, as he's being all fancy and showing off a little bit. The Stalkers will just keep on dying. The micro continues, a tank from behind. And oh my god, INnoVation is still pushing forwards. A new tank sieged. Gonna get a couple extra kills as well. I mean, there's the blink forwards, but it's into a couple of Marines. Even those are gonna get some extra kills at the end of this. 2 more Stalkers. Are you kidding me, Patience? How much damage can you take? Finally, he's gonna push this back. These Marines, well, they're gonna use the high ground, and so you can't even really blink into them. Some of these Stalkers are already just a bit too low. As INnoVation will regather his units now back at home. Wait for his upgrades to finish before he goes into one final push here. But that should be a push that ends this game, because Patience has taken so much damage in this scenario. INnoVation has a third CC landed, starting to mine. Meanwhile, Patience's third base only just starting to get going once again. This is kind of a done deal, it feels like. Kind of a done deal. The Bio Army setting up between the natural and the third, and yeah, it's not pretty, is it? As the Adept warps in out over to the side. I mean, Patience is going to try and rebuild. He did get that robo up in the back of the natural. I kind of laughed about the positioning of the rebuild, but at least it got up. Now he's going into a robo bay and a second facility. I mean, do you just go Disruptors here? I feel like you need to just have a bit of a miracle kind of play, right? And that's what Disruptors generally give you over something like Colossi, which in lower numbers can definitely just be a problem still. Feels pretty tough for Patience, whatever you try and do here. Because INnoVation might just strike before you even have that Robo Bay able to help build anything at all. Let's see what it will be. It will be Disruptors. So at least they build pretty quickly here. 36-second build time. Problem is, INnoVation's already knocking on the front door. He's taking this watchtower away from that probe. And he's not going to waste any time. Then, you know, that said, force fields are available, so you can buy a bit of time here. INnoVation goes to the left-hand side instead. Larger ramp to move up, but now he darts back over to the right, and you know what? Patience just doesn't have the vision to keep on top of this. He stims, and he's going to see the Disruptor right away. Does he have the damage output for it? He did not! Disruptor connects, so does number 2. Meanwhile, the Widow Mines, though, blowing up a lot of the initial sentries. I mean, now the Disruptors are dead, but those Widow Mines are somewhat abandoned. INnoVation, probably still okay, let's be realistic, but definitely a little bit scarier than it maybe should have been. The Stalkers actually using their blink to get forwards here. Means they've got to, I mean, means they're just in trouble, right? Because now they can't blink backwards, so these Marauders will pick up a lot of damage, a lot of kills. Few Zealots warping in here, but honestly, the Bio just sits and trades, and reinforcing Widow Mines showing up, the reinforcing Marines and Marauders showing up. No force fields available now, and that is pretty much going to be it. All she wrote for Patience in game number 1. He tried to hold on here towards the end, but yeah, INnoVation just looking a little bit too good, pushing on through this, and that's going to be the cleanup on these Stalkers. This Disruptor took a shot coming in here, gets a connection. But again, is it even going to be enough? Probably not. More Marauders on the right-hand side. The probes are surrounding the Widow Mine's. Patience will dance as he gives up in game number 1 here. INnoVation will take the first map of this best of 3. As we jump on in to the top left-hand side, up 1-0 in this best of 3. Our Red Terran player, INnoVation. Up against the Blue Protoss bottom right, this is Patience. Trying to fight back and trying to get back into this now for game number 2. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to mute and cough a second. Apologies and thank you. As we go into our second map then. Have a look to see what will happen. Patience is kind of done. He's just going to bring the aggression. He's going to build a gateway across the map. Boys and girls, here we go. Gateway going to drop down here in a moment or two. And that is going to be the max packs from Patience. No gate at home. And some early pressure here. Now let's see how INnoVation can deal with this. We saw the series between who was it? Remind me, guys. Maru and SOS max paxed Maru. Maru's micro was insane defending it. So we'll see what happens here. INnoVation will SCV scout. That's step 1 of getting a good defense because you see no gateway across the map. Obviously a good start. As you do just see the SCV coming out, Pro will be chased away. As the command center dropping down. As you do just see the probe fighting the SCV there. Reaper going to be popping out. Cybernetics core dropping down in the main base. Again, that Cyber core underway. Of course, the follow-up here is the Reaper gets the pick off. No bunker, though, and I think that's kind of an issue. So you're going to just cancel the CC. If you figure it out fast enough, you start a bunker, you can absolutely micro to kind of get the bunker up and then keep the CC alive. And the safer and better way to do this, I think, is just to cancel the CC, build a bit in the main, and then behind this, you can expand in the main base as well. Obviously, the Protoss expansion is delayed, and you will just speed up your factory production, etc. So, not the end of the world here. Obviously, Patience invests a gateway across the map early in the game as well. As you see the SCV making its way up to the top, just hanging around, just hiding away. As you do see Patience at least taking the kind of game into his control in the early stages, right? So it will do a little bit here. I like the Reaper across the map, mind you, of course. Gives you a good opportunity to get some more damage done. Reaper low on HP, but now the micro obviously put a bit more attention onto it, and it does very well to get 2 probe kills. That's actually the 3rd probe kill, 4th kill of the Reaper, actually. Coming back in, this Reaper doing a fantastic job and to continue to be aggressive, popping some probes in the sky. The Zealot is what comes back home first. Now the Stalker. That means that these are units that are back at home and not across the map applying pressure. So INnoVation just goes into a starport. CC is building. And honestly, looks pretty safe already here. Doesn't look as though there's going to be any real issues so far. Reaper hops up into the main, still trying to do a little bit more, even just find out what's being built here, right? He did get a scout on the Stargate. Just nice to double check that sometimes. Anyway, his Cyclone on the way up and maybe even a Viking, unless he feels like he can get the medevac. So he was doing this earlier as well. And that medevac and just getting across the map and being very aggressive very early. Hey, these 3 Stalkers are going to be a problem though. Stalkers against what is just Marines at the moment, so Patience able to get a bit more damage, and this is just INnoVation not having had a low ground bunker or anything. Oh, what a Reaper grenade though! That's a play and a half from INnoVation! Oh my god, the blocking! Are you kidding me? Oh! What the fuck did we just want? Rewind. Hang on. Oh, that's so sick. Oh. Oh my god, just watch this again, guys. The Reaper is coming from the bottom side. The Stalkers are being annoying. This grenade! He bops the Stalkers. Let me slow this down. The Stalkers get bobbed back into the Marines. And then Reaper blocks the Stalker on the bottom side. Oh, INnoVation, you're so fucking good. Are you kidding me? Oh my god.